Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Suzanne Roth-Paul. I'm a certified primal health coach and the author of the Poisons in Your Pantry ebooks. Now, today I have for us a very dear friend and special guest, Larry Chang. And Larry is I like to call him a very experienced and well-vetted patch expert. And because he's been with Lifewave for a very long time, just over 12 years. And so he comes with a lot of wisdom. He comes with a lot of experience, and I'm excited for you to meet him if you don't know Larry. And of course, those of you who do know Larry, we're in for a real treat because he and I have the gift of gab, and we love to share great information about health and wellness. And we are obviously major lovers of this product from Lifewave. So we're going to be also talking first about this chronic illness explosion that we're having across America. So we're going to touch on that before we dive into Larry's personal story about how he became familiar with Lifewave and then how Lifewave helped him tremendously during a pretty serious condition that he had. And so we're not doing a PowerPoint today. It's going to be, just Larry and I in conversation. He might show a few pictures here and there, but just so that you know the what we're doing today. Now, we both are using this technology with great success. And what's happened with us, with our clients and our friends and our family, we're able to help people not have to go down that rabbit hole that so many are today with taking harmful medications, using harmful pharmaceuticals, and then, obviously becoming addicted to them because that's the chronic situation we're in today with our conventional medicine, not looking at root causes, they're looking at more just treating symptoms. And so we're able to use this product effectively with keeping people from having to go down, as I said, that dangerous rabbit hole. Now, one of the things I do want to mention here is that, this is a product review and about our experiences. And so the information you're going to be hearing today is from, Larry and my personal experiences and testimonies that we have from our clients and talking about them and ourselves. And it's not intended, this, product is not intended to treat, cure, or prevent any sort of disease, but it is harmless, it's safe, and anybody can be using this patch. But if you are under medical supervision, you always want to talk to your doctor about it. But again, we're going to be talking about a lot of interesting things here, so I'm looking forward to it. Now, this company is called Lifewave, and it's a wearable technology company. And I'll show you here what we're going to be talking about. We have a little patch that looks like this, and it's got an adhesive back. And we call it, we stick it and roll. We put it anywhere on our body in particular placements that are usually based on acupuncture points, but they can also be placed anywhere on the body for specific needs. So if you've got a particular pain, it can go in that location. And if you have for instance, an injury, you can put it on or around that injury, but it doesn't have to go on the body. It's non-transdermal, but it doesn't have to actually be placed on the body. It can be placed on your clothing, for instance, or it can be placed on a cast. If you've got a broken limb, it can be placed around, say, an open wound, but if you can't put it directly on that, but as long as it's in the proximity, then you're going to get the benefits of this amazing technology. Now, Lifewave is a 20-year-old company, and this year we are celebrating our 20th. I say ours. I've been with the company for 4 years, so I'm still a young pup, but we're celebrating our 20th anniversary, and it is actually next week will be the big conference, and it's in Dallas, Texas, and that is my home state. Woohoo! So I'm so excited to be able to attend and see my family, and I'm extremely excited to see any of you that are going to be there. So make sure that if you are at the conference, that you do come up and say hello. I'm with your team in motion. Nikki and Larry are the team leads, and all you have to do is ask for them if you're not on our team and you want to come say hello. Let's see, I did want to mention that we are going to be talking again about how this patch is We'll go into some of the details about how this patch works, but I do want to emphasize that we're not doing a PowerPoint. We're not diving deep into the science and the technology of this product. And so if you want to know more, I just completed an 11-week series on every patch in the Lifewave family, starting from when the company began in 2004 until the recent patch that was launched in 2022. So definitely go back. I've got a YouTube channel. I'll talk about that at the end, but you can watch all of those, and they dive deep into the technology, the science, information about our founder, David Schmidt, and all that good stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get started. Larry, why don't you go ahead and come on, and then I'm just going to mention a few more things about you before we dive in.
All right.
Hi, Larry.
Thank you. How are you, Suzanne? Thank you for
Uh,
inviting me on.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you, Larry, and I'm so glad to have this opportunity. And I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome today. I also wanted to just braggadocious about you just a little bit before we dive in about what a dear friend and also an amazing, amazing patch supporter that you've been for me as an expert. So, when I started with the company, of course, I didn't know anything. And over the years, I've learned tremendously by you and Nikki, who is your partner. And I just can't say enough about how kind you are and knowledgeable, smart, and wise. There's so much about this man here, you guys, that if you don't know Larry, you need to know him. And I am honored to be on this team, and I'm also honored to know you. And I thank you for all that you have taught me and your unbelievable wisdom about how to use these patches and your wellness knowledge. And that's what I love about you being a health coach. We can dive deep onto the side of food, nutrition, and how when you take good care of your cells, then your body's going to be well. And this is about cell health. So let's go ahead and get started. And I want to, of course, give you an opportunity to say a few words, and then we'll dive into some questions and kind of, ping pong back and forth and get this conversation going.
Awesome. All right. Well, with that, first of all, Suzanne, I would say thank to you. And we've been doing this for quite some time, and I very admire of people like you, like willingly to take charge and step up and sharing knowledge. Let me tell you this. This is what I learned from my mentor. We all borrow in each other information, and I'm so grateful that I was able to share with the team, and particularly you, and now you share with more people. And that is where the value is all about. And again, you are amazing. Your channel, your books, helping people, the pantry, the toxin in the pantry, it's something that a lot of people would never thought of. But imagine if they know what you share with them, that is a priceless that you can bring to their house. So again, thank you for doing this, Suzanne.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for bringing that up, because that's a good segue into just having a little conversation here about the chronic diseases and disorders that are exploding right now. And we see it all the time with our community and our clients, because we have people that are life waivers. They are on our teams, and they want to know, and we're recruiting and bringing new people in all the time. They want to know, how do we patch for these things? Like, from anything from headaches to, back pain. And, the biggest issue right now, Larry, that I want to tell you that I'm seeing, and that really is rampant in most people nowadays, is, energy fatigue and not having enough energy, chronic pain, all over body pain, things that are obviously plaguing us, that has been for decades if we're older, which most of us are. And we have emotional issues. People are anxiety laden, they're stressed out, they're fear-based, look at what's going on in our world right now. So we have a lot of things that, let's see, we had energy, we have, and weight gain. So weight issues are predominant because of the toxic burden loads that we have been bombarded with. And so that's what my ebook's about, is telling you that if you can read ingredients and figure it out, it's not old age, Larry, it's old toxins. And that's what
It is.
So yeah, so what are you seeing out there that's one of the first things or the top things that are plaguing most people that you're working with?
I see. All right. Well, first of all, the major problem that we're facing is this a food chain, and you just nail it. And well, unfortunately, we are in the country that majority of the food is all GMO, and that is where it's a debatable and it's a very controversy that people talk about that. But if you understand that, that will be the very main reason that is driven. And on top of that, I truly believe that we are the only country in the world that is facing the obesity. And that is also is another issue lead to another secondary problem would be mental, as you mentioned earlier. It's
Mm.
all about emotion. It's all about mental. I mean, everything that's going on in their head is they pretty messed up right now, and that is where a lot of things go wrong. And definitely, I need to give credit to our founder, David. He is the very first one and is the only one so far that I know of. Because of him, I starting taking care of my health and pay attention on it. Usually, I don't care much. I just like the ordinary American, like everybody. Hey, let's have a party, let's have a drink, and I just don't care what I put it in. And after I almost died from my accident, then that is where I gained some wisdom from him. And what I mean by that is from David is he is the only one so far that have a very wonderful concept, which is by now I would say is one of the best ever. So what I mean by that is this: if you pay attention on our general wealth and healthness society, majority of the people will say, hey, we need to take this supplement, we need to do this, we have to do that. Regardless of what they do, they would like to put stuff into their body. And that is where David is the only one 20 years ago. And like you just say, we're going to celebrate our 20 years. He is the first one ever, maybe somebody else that I don't know of, but he is the only one that I know of is thought about it and make that happen. And they say, you know what? We not necessarily need to put more thing into our body, but what we can do is we can help the body to activate things so to trigger the body healing. Well, first of all, before I move on, I would like to have a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor here. So everything we say, just like Suzanne said, we just have a discussion on general wealth and health. So with that, I have to say, David is the first one that really have the good concept about how to help the body to make the body smarter, make the body more in tune of like healing itself. And by doing so, I believe he accomplished quite well for the last 20 years. And back to your question is why we're having more problem and challenge. It's definitely because we putting more toxin into our body, we're putting more chemical into our body, and that is where a lot of time the body don't really want it, and that is where we are getting more problem. And I that would be my point of view. I'm not sure if everyone gonna agree with it, but if you really think about it, that's pretty much that's about us. It's not the more you put it in, it's what is you supposed to put in. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Right. And so that's exactly that has been my message all along is you are what you eat, you are what you consume, and you are what you put on and in your body. And that is what makes what Larry was just saying about our product being so darn valuable is that you don't have to digest it. Your liver and your organs that do all of the heavy work of processing and detoxifying you, it can now focus on other things that are more important because you're consuming all this food, your air you're breathing is full of toxins, the water you drink is full of toxins. And, think about it, Larry, so many of us are using products. I mean, I'm touching on food ingredients and I have to do a whole new book on, your skincare line, your deodorants, your,
Yeah.
your your cleaning products in your home.
Mm-hmm.
So all
Mm-hmm.
of that, and it's really not that complicated if you really, this is what I wanted to say in my introduction, but I wanted to get deep into conversations, is that if you can think about what your ancestors, thousands and thousands of years ago, and even just a couple of decades ago, were they using these products that you're using on your body today? Were they eating these foods in these packages and cans and bottles and
No,
plastic that
no,
we are doing today? Absolutely not. So
no.
what I
Mm-hmm.
like to say is, if your ancestors, when you pick up something, look at it and go, would my grandmother, would she have eaten this? And the answer is no, because they made their meals at home. They cooked in their kitchen. They had farm to table food. It was, not necessarily in their backyard, but most of the food that was produced was in 100 or a couple 100-mile radius. And we're getting things from all over the world now. And so not only that, they're being, intoxicated with herbicides and pesticides. And, don't even get me started on the GMO versus non-GMO, organic versus non. But what is so fabulous is that, we now have a product that you just put on your body simply, and
Mm-hmm.
it's doing an amazing job of, reversing, chronic disorders just by your body's own innate wisdom, taking the information. I like calling the patch a messenger. And it's
Yep.
just getting the information to the body and the cells to do what it needs to do, waking up those dormant cells or just healing them or creating new ones. But what I started to say was just our DNA has not changed in hundreds of thousands of years, hundreds of thousands. They're talking
It
about
is.
way
It
back
is.
when. But what has changed is, like I said, our environment and our foods. So if you can think of it that way, it's really easy. And then if you can start to learn to read ingredients and learn those poisons, and it's not just about saying, okay, I'm not going to eat that, Larry. It's
Yep.
about not supporting manufacturers that are harming us. So I
Right.
want people to
Yeah.
get that in their head first. Why? Okay, it's just a Coca-Cola every now and again. Oh, every now and again I eat Cheetos. Every now and again I go to McDonald's. I mean, I'm going to
Yeah.
share with you guys in a moment a bit here about how McDonald's in America, the ingredients are, there's at least 10 to 15 ingredients in the McDonald's French fries in America, but in
Oh,
Europe,
yeah.
there's only
Mm-hmm.
4.
Nope. Yep.
And so
Some of them is banned over there. Yep. You're right.
so why is that? So it's going to show,
Mm-hmm.
it's going back to the message about profits over people. America is greedy on their corporations. They just want to make money. And so I'm not against making money, but you've got
Mm-hmm.
to at one point have a moral compass, and you got to know that
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing is safe. And that's what we love so much about David, Larry, is that
Yep.
he is, faith-based. He wants to do the right thing. And 20 years ago, he started creating a product that he knew was his whole
Mm-hmm.
goal was something that you didn't have to eat, drink, or ingest. And so it's quite
Mm-hmm.
brilliant. I think it's amazing.
Yes.
So yeah,
It is. It is. Yeah. Well, with that one, if I may, I will echo on something like this. What you just talk about is very incredible. By talking about helping the body how to heal itself, and I give you one example. I don't have a fancy degree in any researcher or as a doctor, but through Lifeway, I become I love to read. I love to explore more about how the body is function, this and that. And this is my point of view that I keep sharing with people, and it make quite a bit of sense. And I ask them this. I go like, do you know when you go out to the sun, your body will automatically make your own vitamin D, right?
right.
And everyone say yes. And then I ask the second question. I go like, do you know, regardless of how long you stay out to the sun, your body will never over make your vitamin D to create that as a toxin. However, if you take a man-made vitamin D, you have to be very careful of your doses. If you are overtaking it, it can literally harm your internal organ, which is such as your kidney, your liver. It will be overloaded. And they look at me, they go like, oh man, I never thought about that. And I go like, that is what I mean, the magnificent of about our human body that's been created. Because we've been created to the way that it can help a body to heal itself. So therefore, when you putting more stuff in, just like what David say, you putting more residue into your body. And that is where a lot of things go wrong. And let me end by saying this. We already been established a culture that is so toxic. What I mean by that is this. I see parents can take their kid 5, 6 years old or even 3 years old to a doctor to inject a lot of chemical into the body, which is perfectly fine to them. And
Yep.
they were thinking that this is a perfect practice that they can do. But they did never create a culture by teaching the kids, say, hey, you shouldn't put those coke into your system. You shouldn't eat those French fries. You shouldn't eat those hamburger. I would wish that parents should be a lot more smarter and have more. I mean, they say they love the kid, but are they really? If you do that to your kid, are you directly harm them, indirectly harm them Do
Right.
you know it? Some parents know it, but they will tell you, I have no choice. I think we all have choice. It's just a choice that we make. It might not be very intelligent. So those are the things that I would say it is a people choice, and that is why I'm grateful that you come up every week to do this. So you can educate the consumer. You can share with people and say, hey, I have a choice of what put on my body and what I can help my body to be healthier. I
Mhm.
understand more a little bit about what we did give, which is a very magnificent body that can heal itself. So that is my very common sense as an individual looking at things with a very not like it's very scientific, but it's not in a way of like I need to read a lot. No, all you need is pay attention on some of the very small common, but it's very major impact in your body. So that is my 2 cents for that.
Oh, and hallelujah. I'm right there with you that I think the important thing you just said is we do have free will and choice. And I just think that we have decades of generations that didn't get taught this information. And I happen to be, some of my parents did instill in us a couple of things about the health of nutrition. They intrinsically knew that sodas were bad for us, so we were limited. They knew the only thing that I wish our parents knew more about was how harmful sugar was, because we were sugar addicts as kids. And I have a mouthful of mercury in my mouth, and I have a
Oh
lot
my
of
gosh.
dental health issues from that. And it wasn't just that the dentist, we had to go in and it was painful and miserable. I mean, I have nightmares about going to the dentist at a very young
Mhm.
age. It's that all of those products and materials going into our teeth, our mouth is our gateway to our health. And I've had
It
chronic
is.
health issues my entire life, and no coincidence that I have fillings and crowns. And I recently have a dental implant from a broken tooth and had to be taken out. And instead of leaving it alone, I got convinced that no, you've got to get an implant. And so thousands of dollars later, now they're telling me that it's causing some chronic inflammation. Oh, I've got a rash on my cheek because of the implant. So now I have to go through the whole trauma of either getting it out or dealing with it. And Larry, I'm going to tell you, having these patches, and I wear them on my head. And I've
Mhm.
had, numerous stories in all of my product reviews. You can go back and listen to them about my skin rash that I had for 5 years. And if people can just pay attention to their symptoms, their body is screaming for help. If
Mhm.
you've got chronic pain, you're inflamed and your body needs support. If you've got skin issues, your skin is your biggest organ. And so
It
it's
is.
actually that's releasing toxins. Pimples and acne and skin and rashes are releasing toxins. It's saying red alert. And so
Mhm.
we've never taught generations that symptoms are a sign that you need to get help and you need to do something. And it's normally just changing what you're eating. So, Larry,
Absolutely.
why don't we jump into, because we can talk a lot about symptom relief of these patches, and what I just wanted to mention before we jump into your story, because I want to hear how you were introduced to Lifewave, and then I want to hear how many years you were with Lifewave before you had your story you're going to tell, the accident, because
Mhm.
I don't know that.
Mhm.
And then
Okay.
obviously, maybe if you've got a few pictures you want to show before and afters, or before, we see the after, but if you want to show some befores, but
Okay.
one of the things I wanted to mention was we have a patch for just about everything.
It
And
is.
isn't anything the patch can't do. So maybe before
Mhm.
you tell your story, are you one, because you've been with this company for 12 years, there is not a thing that the patch
Mhm.
can't help? I mean, short of a broken
Mhm.
bone, you can't go and repair a bone, but it's going
Right.
to help. It's going to help with
Mhm.
the pre and post surgery and helping heal.
Okay.
But is there
Yep. So
anything that you know that the patch can't do besides, helping all of these so-called chronic disorders that so many
yes.
are being
Yes.
treated with medications for?
Right, right. Well, definitely. Well, thank you for the question. And first of all, I would like to say this. If you remember, we don't met each other quite often because you live in Texas and I'm in California. But from time to time, we meet up for event and meeting. And I remember the very first time that we met. That was with John and you was telling me that how much your skin that is not you are not happy with it. And I recall like 2 years ago, last year and the years ago, and when I see you, the first thing my mind was like, oh my God, how beautiful Suzanne is now. And I would like, look at your skin. It's like completely, well, no, Suzanne, you can laugh about it, but if
Yeah.
you would be agree with me,
Mhm.
we already in the mid age. And for us, the skin getting better is a miracle.
Yeah.
It's not it can be happen. And that is where throughout this technology that happen all over, everybody using it, they look younger, they look happier, they look prettier every single time I meet up with them. And I'm telling you though, I'm gonna looking forward to see you, and I bet you that you're gonna look prettier than last year, right? So
Well, you
that for
look
the
pretty. You
given.
look pretty as well, Larry. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Larry, I live in Northern California, but I'm a Texan, remember? But
Yes.
I
Yes.
definitely, I agree with you. Thank you. The skin,
Mm-hmm.
I've never felt that I had a beautiful skin. And people come up to me and they say, you're glowing. You have a sense
Yes.
of
Mm-hmm.
vitality. What is it? What are you
Mm-hmm.
doing? And they usually guess I'm at least, a couple of smarty pant teenagers or young 20-year-olds will say, yeah, I guess you were maybe in your 50s, but you look really good. Or you're
Mm-hmm.
going to say, they'll say that, no, I thought you were at least in your 40s and I'm 60. I'm 61 this year. And I look back at that and
Mm-hmm.
I do have good genes in the family, but I now see I'm watching, oh my gosh, every year, every month, I'm watching my skin
Mm-hmm.
changing and my
Mm-hmm.
hair. And so, yeah, you're right in that the sense
Yep.
that sometimes we don't even
And
notice it.
yeah, and it's not only that. I'm talking about not only the look, but also the
Right.
quality of life.
The
And
health.
now you have more, I mean, healthier health, stronger body, and that is where you can do more. And it's not like, I'm not saying that Lifeway patches gonna be taking care of everything. We don't have an answer for everything,
Mhm.
but for a general health and wellness, for a better body, for stronger body, and definitely the look is just another side benefit. I mean, we have so many people come to use the patches, and they go like, oh my gosh, I get so many compliment about my look, my skin, my hair, on and on. But back to my story is this. But back then Nikki and I, we were in real estate, and also in the seafood importing, and
Hmm.
we have no intent of knowing the patch or working on the patch. But one of our what you call this, a title insurance rep, his name is Paul Yao. He came over, and with Nikki and I, we become good friends because we've been doing real estate for quite some time, and we know Paul for like already like 15 plus year. And he know that I have a back pain, and whenever I sit long enough, like 20, 25, 30 minutes, the back pain will acting up, and my tailbone is really irritating and hurting me a lot. And at that time, I also ride motorcycle for fun. That's my hobby. And I joined a club called the Motorcycle Touring, Start Touring. And that would, if I have to remember, is sometime in November, late November, early December 2012. And when he come by and he told us about that, and heard about my story, and one night he just said that, hey, let me put the patch on you. Well, actually, my starting on the patching is not that happy because I little get tricked into a parking lot to wait for him for like almost 30 minutes in the cold, and I was hungry. And when he come, he just pulled my shirt up and just put the patch on me and said, okay, you will feel the difference. And actually, that is have a very negative impact on me. I go like, are you out of your mind, Paul? That thing is just a sticker. And with my sad to say, at that time, I do not have any understanding on this technology. And that is why now, when I know more about it, for those of you that audience listening to this recording or even live right now, I would encourage you not to believe the patch, because the patch is not a religion. So you don't have to believe it. It's a technology that requires your knowledge. That means you need to study and understand. A religion is something that you don't have to study, because it is a religion that you have to have faith to believe in. And yes, some of them you need to study about what's going on, the history, this and that. But with technology, it's more about the understanding about the mechanical, how the body work, and on and on. Once you understanding that, you will be impressed. You will be amazed about what this technology can do. Just like your iPhone, just like your computer. You cannot buy a computer and just let them sit there and not studying and understanding and how to use it, right? So same thing with the technology. And what you asked earlier is how this technology work. Well, the major difference about this technology work compared to the other the product is we don't put anything in your body. We don't inject anything into your body. So what we do is we call phototherapy, or to be more precise, it should be a photomodulation. Very similar to a plant. A plant is called the photosynthesis. And what happened is they using light, they absorb light with a very specific spectrum of light, or called the wavelength, to do a lot of different things, such as giving nutrient, giving the right amount of sunlight, then the plant will do the job to grow and expand. And if you understand tree, do you know some tree is already been there for like thousands of years? It could be hundreds of years. All right. And technically, if you think about the body, would we were able to do the same thing? I don't know, but I read some of the article. At this point, I'm not sure where we're going, but I I read some of the article that they say that we are capable of living longer than we are right now. Right now, our life expectancy for a woman is like 85 or 90, for a man is 75 or 80. But actually, we can do much more than that. And the secret, I think David hold the key on that one, is because the technology will activate. We're not gonna have time to talk everything, but let me fill everyone in on the technology. Like Suzanne talked about earlier, a patch that help the body activate stem cell, which is what they actually activate your copper peptide. And for those of you that never heard of the term called copper peptide, I would encourage you to Google it and learn more about it. It's a compound called GHKCU. That is what copper peptide is all about. And it's a tripeptide. And if you understand peptide, then that will change your world completely. 12 years ago, before Lifewave, I never know what this peptide is all about. And to me, it's like a foreign language. There we go. Thank you. So one you understand about copper peptide, is a key for longevity, and that is where everything changed. So I don't want to spoil all the reading that you guys gonna got, but please get online, do some more study, and just like what I say, do not believe. You need to understand. Between believing and understanding is completely different. You can believe anything you want without even like confirming it, or make sure that it's real. But if you having a understanding in terms of reading and reading the data, then what you have is quite incredible knowledge. And this knowledge is not only for yourself, that you can also help and save your family. And many people, like what Suzanne are doing every week right now. So back to my story is this: when Paul tell me about this, and I literally have no regard of the patch will work, because at that time I'm not happy in it. I'm not receiving it the way that is with an open arm. Because I mean, imagine this: you are in the evening of cold evening, and you are hungry. And when you are hungry, and at that time I was overweight, right? I'm like 200 plus pounds, and how can you be happy when someone do that to you? But thank God that I have my Nikki, and Nikki would, well, without talking to me, she go ahead and order a so-called a diamond packet at that time. That was like a $1,700 package. And she using on me as a guinea pig. That exactly what she said, but she did not tell me back then. And I using it, and the one thing that is very noticeable is when I come back, usually I will be crashed. I'm tired. I'm dead tired, and I'm in pain. I will be like lay on my sofa, and I gonna knock myself out for at least a couple hours of nap, without doing anything. And this time I came back. She would literally go to the garage and say, "What are you doing?" I literally cleaning my bike. I was sitting there and clean my bike. And for those of you that know a biker, or are you a biker, we love our motorcycle. We want all the chrome, everything is shiny, every paint is like mirror, like polished, nice and clean. And she go like, "Oh, okay, you cleaning." So she take note of what the patch do for me. and I don't even know that. And to sum it up, I get better energy, I get no pain. Like I say, I have quality of riding time, enjoying my ride, and that was like one of the joyful thing that I can have. But I don't really know that because again, most of the people still don't have that concept of what the pet can do. So fast
Hey,
forward
Larry,
to,
Larry, can I
yes.
just ask you what you were wearing? Were you
Well,
starting with just X39 or were you doing a variety of patches?
oh, I wish I have X39 back then. No, we
Oh,
don't.
sorry. Of course not. This is just
Yeah,
just recent.
exactly. This was back in 2000. I'm talking about 2012. So
Yeah.
all we have is the 3YH and the Iceways, Silent Night, and
Gotcha.
Energy.
Okay.
And what I was using is mostly is an Energy and Iceway, and
Perfect.
that already helped me dramatically that I don't even know.
Okay.
And so fast forward, in March 2013, we went. That was 4 months after, right? So we have an annual event in Vegas, which is doing a fundraising for our motorcycle club. Our motorcycle club was a international, so we raise fund annually for the of orphan children in the city of Anaheim. So we did a major event in Silverton, Vegas. 3-day event. On Sunday we come back, and when we on the way back on the highway 66, that is when I fall on my motorcycle by myself. I don't know how, and I don't know what that happened. And the speed that we travel is not like very fast. It's about like 45-50 miles per hour. And as you know, the old highway 66, which is a historical route, is nobody driving on that route anymore. Mostly is for biker that we like to be like private, like no hurry, just enjoy the scenery. It's a longer route, and I fell, and I don't know how severe it is at that time. But what I know is like when I fell, I have a very bloated feeling, which is I thought that I want to pass gas, but I'm not able to do so. And the pain is getting rise every single second. And it's to the point that I'm very, very in pain. And my left shoulder right here is like I feel like it's broken. I feel like it's exclusively pain, but I couldn't understand why. At that time, you will want to have every help that you can. And luckily, before I go, Nikki is the one that run after me and saying that, hey, you should bring the pad just in case your friend need it. Because most of my motorcycle friends, they are older, right? And end up the person that needed is me. And at that time, I remember those patches, and I told my biker friend, I said, can you guys look for those pads and put it on? And Maria is the one. Louis, her husband, and Maria go around and look in the desert, and they go like, those stickers, is that what you refer to? And I say yes. And they bring those things back, and they literally put like all over my body. And at that time, I feel something very incredible, a calm feeling. That's number one. Number two, remember the pain on my left shoulder is kind of like subsided. And the second thing is like immediately I feel very sleepy. And the next thing you know is I fall asleep. And that was a sign that my captain at that time, Jim, is the one that is a fire paramedic for the San Pedro. He already knows something is not right. And unfortunately, at that time, they called the ambulance, and the ambulance come from, when I say unfortunate, is come from Baker, and it's supposed to be called the helicopter.
Oh,
And by now, for those of you that are listening, you might already know I have a major internal bleeding because when I fell, my handlebar ruptured, my shatter my spleen, break open my colon, and have
oh,
an internal, major internal bleeding, and that was right after breakfast. And you already know that's a big no-no. You have blood, you have bowels, you have food all mixed together. And I would admit it to back to Vegas from Baker, which is about like 80 miles away from Vegas. And as you know, on Sunday morning with traffic, by the time I get to the hospital, it's already like over 2 hour, two hour more. And that is where the doctor really concerned because he can see that the infection gonna be make everything very complicated. And well, but by now I think probably I should share with you the picture.
yeah.
So at that time, people, I mean, if you look at the picture, you can tell me how long it's gonna take you to heal, right? So this is what happened. So let's go. Okay, can everyone see now? So this is what going on with my accident. So this is the operation that they did. So as you can see, it's about 10 inches long. And when the doctor did that, after about a day, he have to open it up and say that, hey, the infection is so bad, you're not going to be able to heal yourself, and we need to coming in and properly some of the organ we have to remove it, and you're going to become a handicap. Probably you're going to carry the put bag. You're not going to able to digest food yourself. You're not going to be able to do a lot of things. And that is where this where do I go now? The open wound, and this is where how the open wound look like, right?
Oh,
Yeah. So I hope I won't ruin your dinner. Okay. So this is how the open wound look like. Very, very big and very bad, as you can see. And he prepared to go in and to do that. And if you can see all the little circle, that is the patches. So for those of you that are wondering how to patch, it's extremely simple to patch. There are no fixed protocol. Wherever you have issue, just put a patch on. Now, those patching is an excessive patching because Nikki was so worried. I mean, she was so careful me that when she saw that and the doctor said that, no, we're not going to put it back. Because this is an open wound and now we have to go in and we're going to remove the organ on and on. See, I don't know that I put her in a very, very bad emotion situation that she know that she's going to lose me, and she know that she probably end up with a handicapped person. And at this point, the doctor said that I might be take about easily 9 months to a year for recovering, and that would be like a very intensive care, taking medication on and on. However, if you can see some of, let me show you some more of the picture, and this picture is like make a very major impact. So as you can see, I give a thumbs up, right? And then this one right here is the one that they make a very, very clear statement. For those of you that have a stomach open wound without any medication, there's no pain medication. I did not take any of them. Will you be able to bend your head and look at your stomach when the nurse put on the glove for you like this? Do
wow.
you see how dynamic it is now? That is why when we look at the picture again, we just shock to ourselves that how can I do that? The only answer is because there's no pain. And if you look at the other picture, I literally was giggling because I was like kind of tickling when he touched my stomach, right? And that is how 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 this technology can help you reduce pain so much, right?
Was that ice
So
wave all around you, Larry? What was around your everything?
at this time, I used all 3YA. So we use
Okay.
everything. You know, so literally we use everything on that one. So that is my story, and let me end by saying this. I completely recover in 47 days with that
Wow.
open wound. In that 47 days, I asked myself one simple question. What just happened? Because now I have data, I have information coming in. That is why now you understand where I come from when I told people don't believe the patches, but you need to understand the patches, right? Because by believing the patch today, you might not believe it tomorrow because people can change their mind, right? But once you have a understanding about this patch, you just realize that this is one of the best tool that you can ever have in your life to help you through your journey of health. And by understanding that, which is, how about this? For those of you that still thinking about, hey, I don't care much about my health. Yes, you not care for now, but eventually you will one of this day. And let me remind you this: the biggest treasure that you can ever own is your own health, nothing else. Remember that. And if you don't know how to treasure it, you don't know how to take care of it or how to preserve it, then your treasure will gone. And when your treasure will gone, then you lost everything. So remember that. So that after that, Nikki and I, we really think about it and we say, you know what? This technology is not a ordinary technology, just a sticker anymore. That's what I would call earlier. It is a technology that truly can help your body to heal itself. And the question you asked earlier, that what can we do? Well, if you understanding what the peptide can do to your body, then that is where the benefit that you can get from. I just want to say one very simple thing is about the sun, the vitamin D. For those of you that understand what that vitamin do for your body, then you already understanding how important the peptide that your body can have. Now, with Lifewave, we are just open up a lot more than that. We talk about the copper peptide. We talk about the sister peptide, which is the AXKCU, which is the X49. And we have glutathione. For those of you that never heard of glutathione, look into it. We have carnosine. Do you know anything about carnosine, right? And then we have Eon. What Eon do? They are activating and elevating several different peptides, such as like L-poso, right? And if you understand L-arginine, on those things is another big peptide that your body is a must have anyway. So those are the things that Lifewave technology can do to you. And another picture, I just saw it earlier. Let me show you, which is I want to show everyone this picture right here. And the question that you asked, how many people that we can help? This is the graph that we have from the company. I believe you're going to see this in the convention this November. I mean, this October. So we are comparing the 4 years since the day that we launched the X49, right? So the red is representing 2019, and the 20 is the kind of like a light green, and then the blue color is 2021, and the very bright green right here is 2022, and then the blue right here, the light blue is 23, and the yellow is 2024. As you can see, in 2019 and 20, our production is not that incredible or noticeable. But if you compare to 2024, look at the chart. Every single month is doing better and better, and not only do better, if you're comparing to the volume, it's about, I would say easily, I mean, if you compare to last year, easily double it up. If you compare to 22, it's like triple it up. And if you compare to 2020, 20 and 19, I would say like, you don't have to debate, right? This is easily like 6 to 7 times more. So that is what our track records is all about, doing this. And what you're seeing is mean we are helping the people to see that, hey, you have more option now. You can help your body more now. And that is where we are stand for, the value that we truly can bring it to the people. And the cost is very incredible. Just like I always tell people, it's less than a cup of coffee a day. And who doesn't drink coffee, right? And imagine if you can take your good health less than a cup of coffee, which is, to me, is a no-brainer. And that is what this is all about. We're helping people. It's not about the money. It's all about the helping people. Talk about helping people. Let's pray for the people that have the hurricane right now in the East Coast. And our company was so fortunate that able to help. Do you know we donate over $50,000 patches and also another $50,000 of cash to help out the people that is so unfortunate. Yeah, wow. And yeah, for those of you who follow the news, some of them haven't get help yet, but we already do our part to step in and helping them. And I'm very grateful that we with this company that we truly can help people. Yeah.
Thank you, Larry. What a great story. I don't think I hadn't heard it to that degree, and I certainly didn't see your pictures. You didn't show us an after of how you healed. But the one question about that was, clarify for the listener, did you actually have your spleen removed?
Yes, my spleen is gone. It's shattered into so many pieces. And my colon, I believe they say that they removed like more than 10 inches. Yeah, of my colon, it got rupture.
Okay.
And they would need to remove more of my organ. I don't remember which one, but they say that whenever that they are infected, they have to remove them.
Well,
And thank God I don't have to. And that is where my recovering is so fast that the doctor even shocked. They go like, I don't know what to tell you, but based on what I see your blood
Yeah.
test and your body is two completely different. Well, for those of you that with us today after like 12 years, I am completely healed. No, not even 12 years. After 47 days, I back to a normal individual. I can eat. And matter of fact, I even went out and eat a sushi, which is raw fish. At that time, my thinking was so childish. I said that if it worked, then I want to test to see if I can, which is very, very dumb. Okay. For those of you that are doing this, please don't copy me. Right. And I did it and nothing happened. And I say, yay. And then when we came back, which is on after couple months, we came back on the Labor Day weekend. Nikki and I, we even take a bicycle bike all the way from where we live, which is in the city of Alhambra, all the way down to Long Beach, which is 25 miles. And that is from that accident, a few months later, I was able to do that. And all my friends saying that, come on, don't be ridiculous. You're gonna be suffer halfway. And by the time we get to Long Beach, they are shocked. They go like, what? You go to Long Beach before schedule? We say yes, right? And that is how healthy I am. And now I'm 190 pounds, extremely healthy. I'm not like super cop or Arnold. No, I don't have a lot of muscle, but I do have some muscle. I'm very happy. I'm very healthy. Sleep well, eat well, good mental. My memory is even better than before, which is like 12 years ago. Now I have a better memory, and my comprehend, my reading is even increasing. And that is something that I tell people. I never request every single day that I'm using Lifewave patches. It helped me so much. Yep. And I
Wow.
guess so many people have a very same result that they grateful that they find out more about Lifewave.
Oh, that's amazing, Larry. Thank you for that. And absolutely, that's one of the things that is so fascinating is listening to people's testimonials and their own stories, because I have them and you have them and Nikki has them and countless others have these amazing experiences. And it's really fascinating how, you know, how it changes your life on the perspective. Once you start feeling better, Larry, I'm sure from that point you started really looking at what you're putting in your body. You even questioned eating that sushi. You were teasing yourself about just trying it. But I think the important thing is having that self-respect for your body. And the patches give us that opportunity to start feeling better. And what I wanted to tell you was when I started coaching, I couldn't get anybody to read my ebook. Nobody wanted to take the food. They don't want their addictions to be taken away from them because they couldn't imagine living without them. And I was one of those in my 40s. If I
Yep.
listened to the specialist, he said,
Mm-hmm.
you really need to get off of wheat. You need to get off dairy. You need to get off soy. You shouldn't be eating wheat at all. You probably have an allergy. You need to get your cortisol levels balanced because you're, wrecking your adrenals from so much caffeine. All of those things were terrifying for me to take out
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know how I would survive without them. And sure enough, it took about another 6 years before I had a come to Jesus moment. I was falling apart. And so what we really encourage people is don't get to that point. Start now. And they ask, when is the best time to detox? And I say today. When is the best time to change your diet and be healthy, a healthy eater, and look closer at what you're doing to yourself, whether it's lifestyle choices or diet, and it's today. And we really can't afford not to, Larry. I think that's the point. Don't wait until you get to a point where you have to have a surgery to see if these patches work. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, if you do get into a situation, which many of us do, that we can reach for them for additional support. And the stories are countless of what I've experienced. But what I started to say is most of my clients wouldn't read my ebook and change their diet until they started on the patches. So I started them with Lifewave. Everybody wants a quick fix. Well, if you can put the patch on, and there's a good
Mm-hmm.
chance it's going to reverse my age, I'll tell them just stick with that. It's doing something, whether you know it or not. It's an inside job for a lot of us. And
Mm-hmm.
they start feeling better, Larry. And then they're like, oh my goodness. Okay,
Yep.
now what else does
Mm-hmm.
Suzanne have to share with me? So then they start slowly cleaning out the poisons. They start reading ingredients. And I guess the best thing I can say is, education is really important, but overwhelm is not fun. And that's why,
Mm-hmm.
with these patches, you can start with any condition. And you talked about fatigue. That's plaguing America right now more than anything. And these energy patches, meridian points and acupuncture points. And Larry, I did
Mm-hmm.
acupuncture. And it's
Mm.
painful, it's expensive, it's time consuming. And now I
Mhm.
have this patch. I just pull it out. I go to my little patch cabinet. I carry this around with me everywhere. We travel with these. We use them for jet lag. We use them for pain on the airplane. I mean, I just patch myself up and I am ready to go on those 12, 20-hour flights that I have to do to overseas.
It
And
is.
it's quite incredible that there's so many people that still don't want to try these. And I fight my
Mhm.
son and my husband all the time. And I told my
Mhm.
husband, you've heard it here before, that if he doesn't keep using the patches, he's going to be married to a much younger woman. And then I said, if you don't, and I tell my son, if he doesn't start using them, he's
Mhm.
going to catch up with me because
Yes, yes.
I'm reversing
Mhm.
age right now. So it's
Right.
quite interesting that, we do have a lot of naysayers and no offense, we do have, I
Mhm.
think one man on the talk here today. Who is it? Robert, who's been on here numerous times with me, that a lot of men are resistant to this. And maybe you can
Mhm.
speak to that one of these
Mhm.
conversations. We can have you on again and we'll talk about why men are so resistant to something that they can't see. My husband says, if I put this on and I can't actually see it happening, how do I know
Mhm.
that it's working? And I said, well, if you'll
Mhm.
just be quiet long enough, you're going to notice you're a much nicer person when I stick Eon on you. If you're quiet long enough, you're going to notice that, that pain you have
Mhm.
is actually abated and is gone. So yeah,
Mm.
what a great story. And I'm so happy that you survived. And we have now I see your love fest with David Schmidt because you guys have a bromance going on every time I see you guys. That he really this product really saved your life
It is.
and
It
your
did.
quality
Yeah.
of life. Quality of life. You weren't going to die, but you were going to end up with a terrible, terrible condition and a
Mhm.
situation.
It
So
is. Yeah,
yeah,
well, just want to say is like, well, a lot of people don't see this. Well, my accident, I cannot prevent it, but the next question is, can I prevent my deterioration from that accident? That will be bring me to handicap, bring me to disabled, and that
absolutely.
is where if you look at it, there's so many people suffering right now. But for me, I would giving a second chance in terms of like fully recover, and I have a quality of life. I don't have to go through a suffering. And by the way, for those of you listening, I do not need to take any medications in that. Zero medication from that
Hallelujah.
accident. All I do is just patching. And
Yep.
again, last thing I want to say is look into glutathione. If you have not understanding glutathione, read it, study it, and understanding it. All right.
Yeah, master antioxidant for your cells.
Mhm.
All right, everybody, thank you for sticking around so long. Larry, I can't wait to have you back. Great conversation. I appreciate you being here, and we'll see you again. And I look forward to giving you a big hug and a big, big welcome to the convention when I see you on Wednesday. Oops, you're on mute.
All right. Sorry
Go
about that.
ahead.
So
Bye,
thank you. All
everybody.
right.
Thanks
Bye
for
bye,
being here.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.